Well, we got some good games today, but there were supposed to be a lot more. COVID wreaking havoc on all of college football. 15 games total canceled this weekend, including a couple of matchups in the Pac-12. ASU and Utah both unable to play due to positive tests in their programs. But the silver lining, we're going to get a Cal-UCLA matchup Sunday morning at the Rose Bowl. Two teams that were not scheduled to play this season, but where there's a will, there's a way. And for more on how this came together and where we're headed, we welcome in the Chief of Pac-12 Football Operations, Merton Hanks. Merton, I know it's been a busy week, a busy day for you, so we appreciate your time. I want to start with the Cal-UCLA matchup and the logistical gymnastics that had to have gone in to pulling this thing off. Can you give us kind of a behind-the-scenes view into what the last 24 hours or so was like?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, we got to give great credit to UCLA, to Cal, their athletic directors, coaches, and student athletes on being willing to take on this challenge. Their familiarity with one another, one of the longest running rivalries in all of college football, certainly assisted in that. We had the unfortunate news late in the week that teams had to cancel out due to COVID-related concerns versus the Pac-12 policy in Arizona State and Utah. So we were able to get those two institutions on the phone and quite frankly, ask the question, would you be willing to move forward with the contest? And they jumped at the opportunity to compete.
Well, so kudos to everyone who made it happen. I know it was not easy. 9 a.m. on Fox on Sunday, FS1, I should say, on Sunday. Looking forward to that. All right, and I know that health and safety remains at the forefront of everything that the Pac-12 is trying to do. And I think 2 weeks in, I'm sure there's a lot of lessons learned. I think for me, there are different contract tracing protocols depending on what city you live in. I think Cal is a poster child for that. And then in terms of testing, we knew it wasn't a perfect science coming in. The Pac-12 issuing a statement yesterday apologizing to Stanford for the testing protocol error that kept a few players out of that Oregon game last week. So overall, I just want to hear your assessment of the Pac-12 testing's process, the protocols right now in place. What's important for fans at home to know?
Well, I think it's important that we continue to demand excellence from all of our testing and all of our related companies. We unfortunately had an error, and those things, percentage-wise, can happen, unfortunately. But we are testing every day, not only with our daily antigen tests, but PCR testing closer to the contest as well as day of game, as you referred to in the Stanford situation with the quarterback. He unfortunately got caught in a situation where he had some false readings when it came to his particular test. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, we're going to have to live with that possibility when you're testing as much as we are. Again, health and safety is a primary concern. And I'd rather a young man sit out of a game if we believe that he is, in fact, in a position not to be or carrying a potential virus. And we find out later that was not the case. The mistake happened. We were able to get with certainly our third-party companies working with us on that. And from a process standpoint, we certainly believe we cleaned that up. So I'm still very much confident in our processes, and we will continue from a testing mechanism to do what we need to do. Daily antigen followed up by PCR, day of game testing. We have to protect our student athletes. Again, health and safety is our primary concern here.
And Merton, I think that the reality that we all know is that case counts across the country are continuing to go up. So we've now had 4 games canceled 2 weeks in. I guess my question to you is, what is giving you hope that we're going to continue to learn and build on everything that's happening and all the science and the medicine and the testing so that we can get through the rest of the season, so that we can figure out the best, safest way? Are there going to be more course corrections as this thing goes on?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is I know for a fact, this is an unprecedented time for all of sports. So we learn lessons, not daily, but hourly, on how we can be better. And we have the flexibility, and we've shown it certainly within our scheduling and other matters on putting forth the best possible process to protect our student athletes first and foremost, and then give them the opportunity to show. I'm so excited watching the games today because all of the work, all of the preparation, all of the adjustments, quite frankly, not only from a conference office standpoint, but on our individual campuses that we've gone through to date. And we'll just be better and better as the season continues to unfold. Certainly the challenge remains getting as many games as possible in this increasingly volatile environment due to COVID-19, but we're going to tackle it again, hour by hour, giving our student athletes the opportunity to show their wares.
And if there is one thing we know that it will change hour by hour, and it'll continue to do that throughout the rest of the season. Fluid, I think, the word of the year so far. Merton Hanks, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it today.
I appreciate you having me.